Okay. I'm giving this another shot. I'm in a much smaller space now. Now that I'm in Colorado Springs, eventually I'm going to get into something bigger, but right now I just have a smaller space. So trying to record has been really tough. Um, let's see if I can power this up a little bigger. Okay, I guess I'm using my camera. So there you go. See, already having troubles. Okay, so let me test this. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, so wanted to do 1971. So I've been playing 1971 for any following it. I'm about, I don't know, 3 to 4 games in for each team, maybe. So it's been a lot of fun. Using History Maker Baseball is my first vendor for this. And when I say first, I decided that one of the hardest things to do in doing a replay is, for me, and I've heard this from other people too, is being able to just stay with it. You just get bored. I don't care how much you like the game, the vendor you're using, it goes on you. So I'm going to try something. I think I've tried this once before, but I don't know why I stopped. I'm going to try something where every month is a different game. So it's a little bit more work on entering all the defensive stuff every single month. But I think it'd be fresh enough to, continually like freshening it up, with different vendors. So I just kind of threw it out there it was based on how quick a vendor got me the 1971 season. And History Maker Baseball was within almost a day. Now that's also because I live in Colorado Springs now, and they're right there outside of Denver. But they were first, and I popped them on first. Next month in May, I'll be using Inside Pitch. Chris got me his stuff second. And then I don't remember from third, fourth, fifth. But I am going to use games like Season Ticket Baseball. I plan to. I hope to use Payoff Pitch, but he doesn't have Joe Bryan doesn't have 1971 out. So I'm hoping to convince him to do that because I'd really like to get back to Payoff Pitch. I'd definitely be using Status Pro in there. Again, I don't remember the months. I did put it on my timeline, my Facebook page group. I have the listing there. So anyway, what I got up right now, let me get out of the way here, is I always use Digital Diamond for everything. Let me make sure I got this set right here real quick. I knew there was something wrong because I saw this. It's supposed to be a board game companion. There we go. Okay. So what I got up right now, some of the things that I do, just as a prep for this game before we start, is I do all the cards. I was a little disappointed that I couldn't find, because I always use, I'm bouncing all over the place, sorry, but for when it comes to cards, so if I'm using the 1971 season, that's what I'm replaying. If you were getting ready to start 1971, you wouldn't have, you would have the 1971 baseball cards, right? But those are reflecting from the 1970 season. So the 1972 tops is actually the cards for the 1971 season. Here's the problem with that. The problem with that is that a guy like Danny Cater or Ron Woods, if they didn't finish with the team, Topps didn't print them a 72 card under the Yankees. And a lot of times I can still find them because there's plenty of people out there that make them. I make them. I just didn't have time to do it here. I had time, I just didn't want to. So I had to fill in some 1971 cards into the 72 deck. The big issue, and especially with the Senators here, those who know baseball, the Senators played 1971 in Washington and then took off to Texas. So I would have had to make them all Rangers cards. So I didn't want to do that. So I just went with the 71 cards for them. I probably, in hindsight, would have just done the whole thing 71, but Washington being a W was the last team I did, and I realized that, oh no, these are going to all have to be 1971. And I wasn't going to go back and redo every team. So anyway, those of you real quick that aren't familiar with Digital Diamond, it's an incredibly great UI. I used to use BallStat and BallScore religiously. And it's still a great product, but I like the UI of this. I like to see the cards. I got Jim Shellen back on the mound here against Horace Clark. I like to see the field like this. But the bigger thing for me is being able to input in the defensive ratings and the speed and the pitching. Because when you take a game like History Maker Baseball, yes, I'm a card and well, let me just say I'm a card and dice guy. Anybody who knows me knows I am. But I really kind of like this, the ability to just see everything. I can tell Jim Schellenbach is a star, semi-star, and a semi-control guy. I don't need to look at his card. Same thing with the batter. I know Horace Clark is a semi-utility, he's a scrapper, semi-good eye, and he's semi-icon as a player. And so it's nice to see all that right there. What I'm not showing on screen, excuse me, I'm coming out of the cold on Memorial Day weekend. What I'm not showing you on the screen is the game action book. I didn't feel comfortable with that because that's proprietary History Maker Baseball play games stuff. So I didn't want, not to mention, I just don't have enough cameras right now in the smaller spot. So you'll just have to believe me when I tell you that whatever gets rolled over here, I do have this up here, which is nice, the roll. So when I tell you that a 3-5-6 is, I'm looking, you start with the pitcher. Those of you not familiar with History Maker Baseball, you start with the pitcher attributes, then you go to the batter, then you go to the fielder. Sometimes the pitcher attributes bring in the catcher as to whether or not he's good at framing, and then sometimes you bring in other stuff. Also, the only cards I do have out are the umpire cards, and I'm doing this a little bit different than what you would normally do if you're playing History Maker Baseball. History Maker Baseball has a spot for every umpire: home plate, first base, second base, third base. I'm not doing that. It's just too many cards to be out there. So I'm going with what I call the chief umpire of the game. And for this one, a 1971 American League is Art France. And Art is a respected, semi-respected umpire. So, and those of you don't know HMB, semi means that you have to roll against it to see if he's actually active as it. So like for Schellenbach, a star, if the star comes into play, I have to roll to see if it actually takes. I don't get these, and if anybody does, I don't know what they're trying. I think this means semi yes, or if he's a team, it has to be this. I don't know. So off camera, I've got a dice roller, and I roll just to see, the decider dice as to whether they are full level star. So I'll explain it more as I go along. I do use a majority of the rest of these. One last thing that I do different with History Maker Baseball than probably anybody, and I don't know if it skews the stats or not, but it works for me. I'm doing a replay, and History Maker Baseball is a fantastic storytelling game. But the problem with that is it's not great for replays, in my opinion, because it takes into account so much great stuff, team chemistry, baseball right now, all these different little things that are, is the pitcher cold? Is the batter hot? Does the team have chemistry? Do they not? Does the batting team have chemistry? I think that's all great if you're doing a fictional league or if you're just, running a tournament or something. So I don't use those. I don't use those in this. In fact, when it asks me to go to those, the only one I use is player experience. And that's whether the pitcher and batter are icons or prospects. So anytime it asks me to look at team chemistry or baseball right now, I use the player experience. There are a few other, things on this. There's infield drama, plate drama, some outfield drama. I will explain all those as I go along. Again, for those who don't know History Maker Baseball. But excited to finally get up a game on here and see how it goes. So, so if you'll bear with me for just a second, I'm going to pause this to eat, and then I'm going to come back to this afterwards. All right, let's get back to the game now. I had some really good food, ribs tonight. So, all right, let's get the ball rolling here, so to speak. So, leading off for the Yankees, Horace Clark, 250 so far, as you can tell. Down here's the sim results versus what he did in 1979. So he's hitting right at his average, 250. So, all right, so let's get started. On the mound is Jim Schellenbach. Jim's making his first start of the season. So he was 3-11 with a 3.52. And 1971, nobody had ERAs over 4, it seems like. It's amazing. Lots of complete games. Of course, these guys went the distance. So, all right, let's roll and see what we get. Again, I'm going to be going off the action game book that they have. I won't be showing that. I think that's proprietary information, but you'll just have to trust me. So we start here with the at-bat. It's a 256, and that is on the pitcher's card. Does he have control? And as you see, we right away got a semi control pitcher in Mr. Schellenbach there. So what I have to do is roll the decider dice, which I'm doing off camera. I've got a dice roller that I use on my phone. Just getting it all prepped up here. Should have that ready to go. And I got a 1, which is the control. So he is. So the 256 is, sorry, I read that completely wrong from the start. 256 is a struggler. And he is not a struggler, so that didn't count. What I was looking at. All right. So then we go to the batter, champion or patient. He is not. And so we have an infield drama that I have to look at. So infield drama number is 56. So looking at that is asking whether or not the first baseman is gold, and Epstein is not. He's iron. So the ball sails over his head, and the batter's safe on an air. So I'm just going to roll real quick to, well, actually, no, it does give me up here. The infielder who made the error is the second baseman. So we got an E4. It's not always that complicated, but it is pretty cool to go through all those different checks. Every game you have has that kind of check. So, all right, so we're back to the next batter. This time it's Ron Woods. Woods so far, this is going to be his first game. He didn't play much in 1971, 32 at bats. Let's roll on him. He gets a 5.56. That is asking if the pitcher's an ace. He is not. Is the batter a sad sack? He is not. So he doubles to right field. So double, and the runner on first is going to score as well. So an RBI double. That's welcome to 1971. Ron Wood. So an RBI double already, and the Yankees are up 1-0. So by the way, the Yankees are 0-2. The Senators are 1-2. If you look at the quick standings here, it's the Orioles and Red Sox out in front. At 3-0, the Indians and the Senators playing here are 1-2 with the Tigers, and the Yankees trailing. The Yankees are 0-2 on the season so far. So we'll go back here. So all right, now I got Thurman Munson up. Munson's hitting 300 so far, 3 for 10. Roll on him, and we got a 3-4-5, and that is going to mask if the catcher is iron. He is not. So we're looking for a good-eyed batter. He is not, and that's going to end up being a strikeout. So right, flip over here. So Schellenbach strikes out Munson, and that is 1 away. And then it also told me to go to the baseball right now, but like I said, I go to player experience. So this one here, so we'll roll on that. It's a 12 or 1-2. So we're looking for an icon batter. He is a semi, so we're going to roll to see if he is. He is not. So he strikes out. And also we will stay on the player experience chart. So that's 2 out, 2 strikeouts for Schellenbach. I'm going to continue to kind of explain the game as I go along, but at some point I'm just going to start speeding it up. All right, so here's Danny Cater. Danny is 2 for 8 so far this year. So he steps to the plate, and Danny gets a 3-4-6. Oh, I'm sorry, we're using the experience. Sorry, 55. So he gets a full count. The batter steps out of the box, calls timeout. Play resumes. I have to roll a decider dice to see if it's a base on balls or strikeout. So we're going to go 1 is a walk and 2 is a strikeout. And I got a 2. So he's going to strike out the side, but he did give up a run. So bottom of the first is the Yankees 1, the Senators nothing. So the Yankees have Mel Stoudemire making his first start of the year. He went 16-12 that year with a 2.87. And Toby Harris leading off for hitting 417, 5 for 12 already. No extra base hits for Toby, but know all about him because I'm a big Indians fan. So Toby used to play some years for Cleveland for sure after the Senators and the Rangers. So here we go with a roll there, and you've got a 134, and that is going to be asking for a gold catcher. Munson is not. Champion hitter, which Hara is not. So we got some outfield drama. So our outfield drama is at a 1-2. So that is asking if the right fielder is iron. Woods is not iron. He's got nothing in here except some ratings from Digital Diamond. So if he was iron, it would be like this. If he's gold, it'd be like this. If there's nothing, he's just middle of the road. So he's middle of the road, so he's not iron. So it's a routine fly out to right field. So F9, Hara flies out to right, brings up Kurt Flood. And Kurt so far is struggling, 1 for 12 this season. Kurt gets a 126. And that is asking for fresh. Now the pitchers in History Maker Baseball are fresh for the first 3 innings. They are semi-fresh for the second 3 innings, so 4, 5, and 6. 7, 8, 9, they are not fresh. Relievers are fresh as they make their first appearance. So if they come in with 2 outs, they're fresh for that first batter or whatever until that inning's over, and then they're semi-fresh for the next inning. So basically 1 inning, but it doesn't carry over. A lot of things in this game don't carry over to the next inning. So anyway, so fresh he is, and he lines out the second. So Kurt Flood lines out his. Nope, I hit the wrong one. Undo that. Love that I can undo when I make a mistake. Undo. There we go. Pitch. Go for. Okay. So Flood's bad season continues, and here comes big Frank Howard. Howard's pulled for 12. Still waiting for his first extra base hit, too. The 2 down here, Stoudemire delivers a 2-3-4, which is asking if runners are on base. They are not. Hot batter. Ooh, forgot to explain this. There are hot batters and cold batters in History Maker Baseball. You can call for any hot batter before the game starts. You have to make that call before the game starts. Or the default is the number 4 batter. So I just stay with the default, which is Mike Epstein. The cold batter is really easy for me in 1971. I always make it the number 9 slot in the pitcher. So Howard is not the hot batter, so because he's batting third. And so we're at 234. Sorry, 234 hot batter, no. So he will pop out to third base. So that'll end the inning 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. We'll go to the second, and that's going to bring up John Ellis. And Ellis is going to roll a 134, which is asking for a gold catcher. Casanova is not. Asking for a champion hitter, which Ellis is not. So we got outfield drama again. Our outfield drama is a 55. And asking if our right fielder is iron. He is not. He's gold. Good. Maddox out there, good outfielder. Anyway, sorry. So we got a line out to right field. He makes the catch, and we move on to an experience play for the next hitter, Bobby Mercer, who had a monster 1971 season. I don't know why he's batting 7th here earlier in the first couple of games. This is only the 3rd game. He was up in the number 2 and 3 spot. So anyway, you can tell in 1971, he hit 331, 25 homers, and 94 ribbies. So why he's batting 7th right now, beyond me. But I use as played lineups. So let's go ahead and find out what our player experience is on our next roll. And that experience roll is a 14, 1-4, prospect batter. Nope, he is not. That would be right in here. It would say whether or not he's a prospect or an icon. He's neither. So he gets a bloop single. So we got the first hit of the, no, second hit of the game, sorry. Mercer is on. And here comes Gene Michael. And Gene's hitting a whole 143, but it's only 1 for 7. And we get a 266. That is the runner on first is picked off. They caught Mercer napping. So 2 down and continue on with Michael's at bat, 356, same side. So yes, we got Schellenbach, who's a right-hander. Oh no, it's not. He's a lefty. I thought he was right-handed. He's a lefty. And Michael is a switch hitter, so he would have been on the opposite side either way, so we can skip that one. On the batter, they're looking for a utility or a sad sack. And yes, he is utility on this one. So he grounds out the short. So G6. And that ends the inning and gets out of that one. So we were going to play the bottom of the second now, 1-0 Yankees. Senators still looking for the first hit here. It's early. We get a roll of 1-1-2 with Mike Epstein, a flash. See, he's not a flash. That's a strikeout pitcher for the most part. Sad sack on the batter. I use SS for sad sack. I will explain the single piece here later if it comes into play. Basically, it helps reduce his doubles, triples. When a guy didn't really hit that many, you could tell he had 21 hits and only 1 double, 1 triple, 1 homer. So this is a way to eliminate guys getting too many extra base hits. Anyway, he's not a sad sack. No SS there. So he will, oh, we got to check with the score. What that means is we're going to find out whether this was a base hit or an error on the play. And the score is right here. It's a 1. And it's a base hit off the glove of the shortstop. So Mike Epstein with a single, 1 out, 1 on. That's the first hit for the Senators. And here is Joe Foy, and Foy is hitting 125 this far, 128, 1 for 8. Sorry, a 125. So back to the regular chart. So 125. Asking if the pitcher is a struggler. He is not. Is the batter patient? He is semi-patient. So I'm going to roll over here off screen. He is patient. So it's a base on balls. However, there's also a pair of glasses on this one. Is a little icon. What that means is that the home plate umpire is questionable. He does not give him a base on balls. He flips it to a strikeout. In this case, Art France is respected, semi-respected. So no, questionable doesn't come into play. So he's not going to flip that call. So we do it base on balls. So Boyd activating this. Boyd with a walk. So we got 2 on here against Stottlemyre with nobody out. And now to the plate, we got Elliot Maddox. Maddox is hitting 182 thus far. Our roll is a 116, 1116 fresh. Stottlemyre still fresh in the first 3 innings, so it's a strikeout. Got Maddox. So 1 down, big out with 2 guys on. We'll roll now for Paul Casanova. And Casanova gets a 3-4-5. Looking for an iron catcher, which Munson is not. A good eye batter, which the Casanova is not. So it's another strikeout for Stottlemyre. Stottlemyre now 2 strikeouts here in the game. 2 down after he got two players on. And also this switched me over to player experience for the next roll. And the experience number is 35. And that is an icon batter. And he is semi-icon. So I got to roll off camera here. Got a 2. He's not an icon batter. So he will go to an outfield drama. And the outfield drama is a 44. And that is the center fielder iron. He's semi-iron. So is Mercer going to drop? Nope, he's not iron. So he makes the fly out grab. So Mercer ends the inning. So Stottlemyre got himself in a little trouble there, but got 3 outs in a row to end the second. We'll go to the third with the Yankees leading 1-0. All right, here's the pitcher, Mel Stottlemyre. As you can see, the pitchers are not very good. Sad sack, utility, scrap hitter, eager, and a whiffer. So don't expect to see much out of here, but we'll see what goes. 5-5-6 though. The higher that first number, the more chance the batter has, by the way, in this game. 5-5-6 ace. The pitcher's not an ace. Is the hitter a sad sack? He's a semi-sad sack, so I'm going to roll and see if he is. He is, which will be a line out to first. Had that not gone right, he would have got a double. So line out there for Stottlemyre, and that'll bring up Clark. He's 0 for 1, but he reached on that air to start the game. So he is up. And let's move. We got a 1-2-5. A struggler on the mound, no. A patient hitter, no. So I round out to third plus a thumbs up, which tells me if he's a whiffer, he goes down on strikes, but he's not a whiffer, so he will just ground out to third. And grounder to third, 2 down. So here comes Ron Woods. Woods, who had that nice RBI double back in the first, gets a roll of a 126. And we're looking fresh, which Schellenbach is because it's still the first 3 innings, so he strikes him out. We'll go now to the bottom of the third, still 1-0, and that will bring up Schellenbach, the pitcher. And Schellenbach gets a 2-2-3. Wild pitcher, no, Stottlemyre is not. A slugger or utility. He is semi-utility, so let's find out. I roll, and he is not a utility. So we continue on to the next one, which is a single into left field for Schellenbach. So the pitcher lines a base hit. He had 5 of 30. That's not bad for a pitcher. So here we go with Toby Hara. Could drop a bunt here. A lot of times they do that when the pitcher's on base, but I'm going to let Toby swing away and see what we get here. 244, ace. Nope, Stottlemyre's not an ace. Champion. Hara's not a champion, but he will ground to short, and if he's a whiffer, he Ks, he's not, so he'll ground that to short. And because it was a 2, it's a 4-7. The first number was a 2. So a G6, 4. Michael over to Clark covering. They get Schellenbach and Hara's on now with Kurt Flood to the plate. Flood so far having, as I said earlier, that really bad year. 1 for 13 now. A 1-2-3, both flash and fresh. So sometimes it combines them. He's not a flash. He is fresh, but not flash. So he doesn't get the strikeout, but he will ground to short, and it's a 1 to start with. So it's an automatic double play on the ground out. So a G6, 4-3. Stottlemyre gets him down. We'll go to the 4th. Still 1-0 Yankees. So here's Thurman Munson to the plate. Munson's 0 for 1. He struck out first time up. All 2s. Is he a sad sack? Munson is not. He will double to center field, and if he's a home run king, which he is not, he would have homered. So if he gets the double, go to center field, and also he will activate the experience chart for the next batter, which is Rory White. So we're looking here at the experience number in red. It's a 13, 1-3, prospect pitcher, nope. Schellenbach is not. So he got him to ground out to third. Now it's a 1, so the runner on second holds. Does not advance. Boy fires over the first with Epstein, and that is 1 down to bring up Gator. Let's see what he does here. He gets a 156, which is that it has nothing for the pitcher, so you don't even look at that. And there's a few of these like that. And the hitter is a whiffer. He is not. So we are going to go to the outfield drama chart. And our drama in the outfield is a 46. And that is asking if the left fielder is iron. He is not. So he makes the line drive catch out in left field. 7, sorry. In the left. 7 in the left. And it activates the player experience chart for the next batter, which is Ellis. Ellis gets a 36 on the experience. And it is a prospect pitcher. No. So he flies him out the left. So Howard takes care of this one too. So the leadoff double by Munson goes for naught. As Schellenbach gets out of that inning. So we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Yankees. So first up is Mr. Howard, Big Frank Howard, leading it off here. He popped up to third. last time. He gets a 366, which is a nothing on the pitcher. Pinch hitter? No, he's not pinch hitting, and he will fly out the center. One away, bringing up the number 4 hitter, Mike Epstein. Epstein hit that base hit last time up. Here he gets a 115. Fresh. As I said, since we're past the 3rd inning, this is semi-fresh innings. And so I got to roll to see if he's fresh. And I got a 2, so he's not. Now it's asking, is the batter a home run king? He is not. Or a sad sack. He is neither. So he will double into left field. So Epstein with a double. His first double of the year. He's had a double, triple, and a home run now this year. So here's Joey Foy will bat. And he gets a 3.35. Asking if the pitcher is wild. He is not. Asking if the batter is sad sack. He is not. So it's a single into right field. Also, if he has a stolen base unless he's stoic. So first of all, it's a 3 on the hit. And the runners advance 2 bases. So this is a base hit that scores Epstein. And Foy is not stoic on his running. He's average. That's what the R2 is. It's just a number from the game. He's either going to be active or stoic. And in this case, it was asking, it says if he's stoic, he can't steal. But since he is not stoic, he would steal second. So stolen base for Foy. Pretty sure it's his first of the year. He's up. Yep. He stole 4 that year. Got caught once. So here's his first stolen base on the year for Joe Foy. So we have a runner at second. Stoudemire now 1-1. Has been in trouble the last couple of innings. So we'll see what happens with Elliot Maddox here. Maddox gets a 4.56. Nothing on the pitcher. Looking for patience at the plate, and we've got a semi-patient. A semi-patient Elliot Maddox. So we'll roll, and he will get a walk. So a walk for Maddox. We got 2 on, 1 out. Stepping to the plate is Casanova. And he gets a 1.16. Fresh against semi-fresh, so we'll roll. He is not fresh. So utility or a sad sack, he is not. So it's a single to left field for Casanova. Sorry. I was distracted there because there's also it's, by the way, only 1 base, so it's kind of like an infield single. On that roll, there is what's called a delta rating, and sometimes you'll see that in some of the really, like Hank Aaron and some guys who are just big home run hitters over their careers, Barry Bonds, those kind of guys, and then you use that instead of the single. But obviously, Paul Casanova is going to ring up no echoes of being some kind of master home run hitter. So he didn't have it on his card. Anyway, on to Tim Cullen, the second baseman, who's 1 for 11 this season. Definitely struggling, but a big opportunity here with the bases loaded. 1 out here in the 4th. Let's see what he does with Stoudemire on the mound. It's a 124 control. He is in control, full control. So he will get a ground to short, and it was a 1 to start with. So that is a double play. So Michael Clark over to Ellis, and amazingly, Stoudemire got out of that bases loaded jam, only giving up 1 run. So we'll head to the top of the 5th. It's 1-1. And here comes Bobby Mercer. Mercer at 444, 4 for 9 so far this year. So let's see what Mercer does here against Schellenbach. He gets a 133. Nothing on the pitcher. Slugger. Oh, I thought for sure he'd be a slugger, but he's a home run king. That would have been a home run, but he's not. So he flies out the left field. 1 away, and up comes G. Michael. Michael gets a 134. Gold catcher, he is not. Would have been a strikeout. I look at that as, did he frame it well? So no strikeout. Champion, not a champion hitter. So we got an outfield drama. And our number is 24. And that will be asking if the center fielder's gold, which he is not. So the ball drops in for a single. base hit for Michael, and that leads to an active. I'm sorry, a player experience, but it's Stottlemyre up. So I'm going to bunt. One of the things I do for this game, hopefully it shows up here. I think it will. Is if it doesn't, I apologize, but I have a bunt chart that I use that was created by someone in the community. So thank you for doing that. So I'm going to tell you, well, I'm going to tell you, it's right here. We're going to roll. It's a 1-1-6. And let me move this over so you can see the game. 1-1-6 is icon batter. So is Stottlemyre an icon batter? No pitchers are icon batters for me. So I say no. Utility or sad sack. He is utility, a full utility on 1-1-6. So he has got himself a sacrifice. So it'll tell you where. So I just made it up. That kid 1-4 doesn't really matter. And Michael goes to second, but 2 down now for Clark. Let's see what Clark does here. A 4-4-5. And that is Workman. He's not a workman. That's generally a pitcher who pitches a ton of innings but gives up a lot. That's how I see it, at least. A patient, patient at home, he's not patient. Despite having a good eye, you'd think he'd have both. He grounds out the first to end the inning, so Clark grounds out. And we will head to the bottom of the fifth, still 1-1. And Schellenbach is the batter, and he will bat only in the fifth. And like I said, these pitchers, this isn't today's baseball where they're out in 3 innings. He's definitely going to stay in here, but he's the pitcher. Hitting 2-2-2, nothing on the pitcher but a sad sack. He is a semi-sad sack. Let's roll. And we get a 1, so he's a sad sack. He flies to right, but there's also the thumbs up for the whiffer, and he is. So what this is right through. 1 down. Here's Toby Hare. Hare gets a 124. Control. He is. Rounding out the short. So 2. The screen. 2 quick outs. Not so quick with me in the game. 2 down. Here's Kurt Flood. Flood with a 3-3-6. Asking for ace or dynamic. He's not. Dynamic is as I understand it now, because I've just got back to HMB after a while, that they added this for cross-referencing seasons, especially like really early years. So I've never seen a dynamic player. So next one, and we're looking for 3 different ones on the batter possibility. It's sad sack. And by the way, Kurt has nothing. So none of these apply. Would have been sad sack, utility, or patient. So he is going to single into center field. So base hit for Kurt Flood. 2-out single after 2 quick outs. And here's Frank Howard. A 134. A gold catcher. Munson is not. Champion hitter. Howard is not. We're going to go to the outfield. And we're looking at a 34. That is left fielder Iron. He's gold, so he will make an easy fly-out catch. That ends the inning. And we're still 1-1 as we go to the 6th. Ron Woods will lead it off, which is 1 for 2 with that RBI double back in the first. A 233. Ace or star on the mound. He is a star semi. So I roll off camera. Got a 1. So he is a star. Ground out the short. Both pitchers really dominating here for the most part. Now we're going to bring up Thurman Munson. It's a 1-4-5. Struggler on the mound. No. Nothing on the hitter, so goes straight to the batter. He grounds out to third base. And that is 2 away. 2 quick outs for Schellenbach. That'll bring up Rory White. He gets a 4-5-6. Nothing on the pitcher. The batter, patient. Or he's semi-patient, rolling. I got a 1, so he's patient, so I'll walk. Rory White. So White's on it. And here comes Cater. Cater's 0 for 2 today. A strikeout and a fly to the left. He gets a 1-3-4. No gold catcher. No champion hitter. Outfield drama. We got a 23. Asking if the center fielder is Iron. Kurt is not. So it'll be a fly out. So, wow, this game's moving along. We're in the bottom of the 6th. And we got Mike Epstein to the plate. He's 2 for 2 today. Single back in the 2nd and a double in the 4th. He gets a 245. And nothing on the pitcher. Hero for the batter. He is not. So he will pop up the 2nd and also It will now go to a player experience on the next at bat. So it's a 23, and we're looking for a prospect pitcher who is Stottlemyre is not. So he grounds out for you a second. So here's Maddox. He's moving along. 3-4-6 on Maddox. Is nothing on the pitcher, eager at the batter. He's not eager. So we are going to get a walk. And if he is active, he gets an automatic steal. There is also a way for me to steal manually. I don't do it unless they got a lot of stolen bases, or depending on the moment. Right now, he's semi-active. So I'm going to see if he's active to get that stolen base. He is not. So he will hold, and here comes Casanova. He gets a 135. Nothing on the pitcher, nothing on the batter. A 135 is an unusual result. So we have to look at the numbers. A 1 is the umpire. I'm sorry. It all has to do with what the number 1 is on the 135. If it's a blue, it's the umpire. If it's black, it's the ballpark. If it's red, it's an unusual result. So in this case, we have a 1. So what we do is we go to the umpire's chart. Now, there are one of these for each scenario. Our scenario here is runner on first. So we run the umpire number. And we have the umpire. Yes, we do. I don't know why there's all these rare ones either. I'm sure they hit each of the numbers, but I don't know which is which, so I'm not going to play it that way. Again, I got to find out what some of these mean for sure. So, here it is. Sorry, umpire's right up here. 1-6. 1-6. So it's asking if the home plate umpire is strict. Bert France is not. So he gives it a ball instead of a strike, which would have been strike 3. So basically, France doesn't call strike 3 there, and our batter stays at bat. So we roll again with a 4-4-5. Workman, he is a star. Patient, he is not. So he will ground out to first, but it started with a 4, so the runner automatically moves up. So Ellis makes like a nice backhanded play. Only play is the first. And that ends the inning. Anyway, didn't matter. Sorry. So that ends the inning. So we'll go to the 7th. This 1-1 game. And this is the way 1971's been for me. Lots of low-scoring games. So first up here, we got John Ellis. Ellis so far 0 for 2. This was his first game, it looks like. Obviously, 1-4-6. A flash. He is not. A champion. He is not. So he ground out to second. He will be 1 away. And we got Bobby Mercer with a 1-3-4. It's coming up a lot this game. Gold catcher, no. Champion, possibly. Rolling off camera, 2, he's not. Would have been the lined single. Instead, we're going to do the outfield drama. And our outfield drama is a 12, 1-2. So we're looking for the right fielder to be iron. He is not. He's a semi-gold. So that will be a flat at the right. No problems with that. And that's 2 away. That will bring up Gene Michael, who's 1 for 2 today, grounded out in the 2nd and singled back in the 5th. He gets a 1-1-3 ace or dynamic. He's not ace. Slugger, he is not a slugger. Would have been a double, but instead he's going to get himself a single. So base hit for Michael. He's now 2 for 3 on the day. Pumping that average up to 300 now in the season. Here's Mel Stottlemyre. Stottlemyre. Now, here's where I have my troubles. We're in the 7th. Do I pinch hit for Stottlemyre, who's basically doing quite well? 6 hits over 6 innings. Do I take him out? 2 outs here to try and do something. I'm not going to. I normally would, but I think in 1971 they wouldn't. So I'm not going to. They're just going to have him roll. Oh, 6-6-6. Oh, man. If I had done this, I think I would have probably hit a home run for the backup or for the pinch hitter, but we shall see. A 6-6-6 looks at whether or not the pitcher is an ace. He is not. Looks for the batter to be a sad sack, which he is a semi-sad sack. I roll. and he is. So he flies out the center. If I'd have got to the next level, it would have been a deep drive, and you roll against that. It's a deep drive glove, so you're looking at the fielder, the outfielder, and he's trying to rob a home run, basically. Oh, that would have been a good one, but oh well. I made the move. It is what it is. He flies out the center. Bad manager. Bottom of the seventh, and let's see if he's going to screw me now and probably get crushed this inning. Here's Tim Cullen. He was 0 for 2. And Cullen gets a 1-1-5 rush. Now we're in the seventh, so this is where semi ends. So he's not anything now. So he's not fresh. He doesn't have a chance to be. So we're looking for a home run king or a sad sack. He is a semi-sad sack. So I'm rolling, and it's a 2. So he is not a sad sack, and he will double into left field for Cullen. See, I told you. I leave Stottlemyre in. Now he's going to get ripped. This is an FYI for the specific to Digital Diamond. Turn Mr. Stottlemyre into orange, which means he's getting a little tired. And they look at that based on how many pitches the average pitcher went in that generation. And a lot of times they don't. But I like this because it does give you an idea. So he's 97 pitches right now. His durability is about 115. So I can take that into play. I like guys like Nolan Ryan go way over that, because they got him at like 110. I'm like, Ryan can pitch 110 in 2 games and a doubleheader back to back. So I use it as a good gauge. So it's nice to know, yep, he's getting a little tired here. He turns red when he goes over that mark. So anyway, we got Schellenbach at the plate. Now I'm changing my mind. One, because we got to run around second and nobody out. So I am going to pinch hit for Schellenbach. And we're going to look for a left-hander. Let's go with Bernie Allen to pinch hit. No, Del Unser, please. He's the professional pinch hitter there. Del Unser will pinch hit. I'm leaving Stottlemyre in right now. I know he's going to kill me here. 3, 4, 5. Iron catcher. No, Munson is not. A good eye. Unser is not. So it's a strikeout. So down goes Unser. And it also took us to a player experience, Toby Hara. And it's a 56. We're looking for an icon pitcher, which he is. He pulls him with an off-speed pitch, and he skies it high in the air to shortstop. Michael has it. 2 down. The Stottlemyre going to get out of this. Hurt Flood to the plate. A 1-4-6. A flash. He is not. Champion. He is not. It's a ground out to second, and Stottlemyre got out of it. Made me look. We'll go to the 8th. We got to replace the pitcher. Schellenbach. And one of the things I like to do is have the game up. Let's see, it should be right here. It is the Yankees here, yeah. In real life, the Yankees won this game 6-0. So I like to have this up generally when I'm playing. So especially for the pitching. Stottlemyre went the distance in a 3-hit shutout, by the way, in this. So after Schellenbach came in, Gary Janaski, and then Rittenberger and Pena. So I take a look first at what is he going to face coming up. He's looking at the top of the order with a switch hitter, a righty, switchy. So probably going to go with a right-hander, but let's see. Janaski is a right-hander. Oh, also, this is something I do in games. You'll see that Denny McLain's red. He had been a starter a couple of days ago, so he's unavailable. Jim Schellenbach obviously is pitching right now. He's on his 96th pitch, so I can't select him. Some of these other pitchers could have numbers on them, even relievers, if they've been used a lot. But right now, what I got is a full open bullpen to me, which is nice. So we're going to go ahead and bring in Jerry Janaski. I hope I'm saying that right. Probably not. He is in the starting rotation, though. Why did they bring him in here for 2 1/3 inning? Weird stuff they did in 1971. So I will also just bring him in to try and get this inning closed out. So, oops, no, I did wrong. Yeah, I got to throw him on that, but number 9. Don't need a double switch there based on where everything's at. So we'll try and have him get just this inning out. So Clark's up. Let's flip back to flip back to oh, we have a 235. That is Wild. He is not. Eager. He is not. We got to ground out the second. Okay. One down. And I bring up Ron Woods. Gets a 1-4. We get that 1-4-6 a lot. Flash, nope. Champion, nope. And they ground out the second again. Two down. We'll bring up Munson. 2-4-6. 2-4-6 is a control. He's not a control pitcher. Eager or sad sack, no. So it's a walk to Munson. He is on the 2 outs here in the 8th. And here's Rory White. And a 3-3-3. Nothing on the pitcher, utility or sad sack, no. And White triples in the gap. And if he's a home run king, he hit it out of here. Well, he's semi-home run. Let's see if he gets it. It's gone. Rory White with a big swing here in the 8th. A 2-run homer. It's his. I don't know if you can hear the game, but it's got a lot of booze going on because we're here at RFK. So a big 2-run homer in the 8th. And Janaski comes in and plays the GOAT so far. Here's Denny Cater to the plate. 2-3-6 is DB control. So I'll explain that one if we come up on it. But a control can also have a DB. A flash can have a DB. And what that means is double it. So if he was a DB control, he would get 2 straight outs. Of course, here he only needs 1. But he is not a DB control, so he doesn't get it. Is the pitcher batting? Nope, he's not batting, so it's a walk. So I believe since Mr. Janeski is going to be starting in a couple of days, we need to get him out of there because he's just not pitching well. The other guy, Denny Rivenberger, he will come in and pitch, trying to get this last out of John Ellis. It's a 1-2-5. Struggler, he is not. Patient, he is not. And so we'll have a ground to third. If he's a whipper, he's a semi-whipper. Okay, he will. Strike 3. So Riddleberger comes in and takes care of that. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th with the Yankees now leading 3-1, trying to get their first win. So Stottlemyre, who's now at 107 pitches. I'm going to keep him in for reasons that, again, 71 pitchers go a long way. Also, he went all 9 innings and shut the Senators out. He doesn't have a shutout here. But I'm going to stick with him until he gets into some trouble. We got a 2-3-3. Ace or star. He is a star. He gets him to ground out the short. So get the big Frank Howard to ground out the short. And here comes Epstein with a 2-5-5 star. Yes. Steamreg 3. 2 down. Stottlemyre is making me look good. 4-4-4 for Foy. Say that 4 times fast. Nothing on the pitcher. Scrapper on the hitter. He is a scrapper. And he gets a solid single into left field. So Foy, the second hit of the game, is on. And here comes Maddox. Elliott gets a 2-3-4. If there are runners on base, we have plate drama. This is where we get into wild pitches and pass balls possibilities. So we'll look under plate drama. And that is here, 55. We got a control pitcher. And he is. So he caught him looking for a strike, not a strikeout. And also, it now goes to the player experience card. So let's roll, get a new one, 36 for Maddox. And it is a prospect pitcher. No, he's not. He will get him to fly out the left field. So that will end the 8th for the Senators. 3-1 Yankees. So Riddleberger, I'm going to keep him on. He looked good for his one player there, one bat. And here comes Bobby Mercer. Mercer looking for another hit today. He's 1 for 3. Is that right? Yeah, he's single. Okay. 233 for his number. Great chart here. Can you hear me fumbling it? Maybe. Yeah. 233 is Ace or star. He is a star. Rounds him out to short. So Mercer rounds out, and that is 1 away, bringing up G. Michael. Michael gets a 4.56, and nothing on the pitcher, patient on the hitter, which he's not. He will fly out to center, and it will be a player experience, which is the pitcher. Oh, do I push my luck and let Stottlemyre bat again and pitch the 9th? I am. So here we go. Stottlemyre gets it's a player experience. It's a 16. Icon pitcher. He is not. So base hit for Stottlemyre. Rewards me with a base hit. All right, so bring up Clark. It's a 226. And that is batter hit by pitch. Now, it has to be a 1 on the decider dice. And so I'm rolling, and it's a 2. So he's not hit by the pitch. If he's the cleanup hitter, which in this case Clark is not, that would have been a home run. So he will fly out the left unless he's a whiffer, which he would K, and he is not. So he'll fly out the left to end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th here at RFK. It's the Yankees 3, the Senators 1. So you see Stottlemyre turn red. So he is over his pitch limit, very well over his pitch limit. But I'm going to stick with him. What happens, again, home rule. It's a home rule that I use because I use combinations of stuff. So I make some home rules. When you turn red, you lose your qualities. So, you lose half of your qualities. So if you were a star, you're now a semi-star. You're a semi-control. You're a semi-icon. If it was Casanova, he'd be completely a whiffer. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense. So he's going to semi into some stuff, and that's the way I deal with him being tired on the mound. So we'll see how long we stick with him. I'm thinking one batter gets on, I'm going to the bullpen. So let's see what happens here. Casanova to the plate. 231 hitter is Casanova, and he's a right-hander. Pinch hit. Let's see what we have on the bench before we make a decision. Because I've got 3 guys here, all could be pinch hit for. We got 3 lefties. Bernie Allen, Jim French, and Matt Mush, 146. I got 2 good lefties on the pine here. Not too much on the right-handed hitting for there. Dick Billings is okay. And Richie, Richie at 143, ended his career, switch hitter. So I'm going to save these 2 for Cullen and Riddleberger. So we will go with Casanova. And yes, I do this in every game I play. I overanalyze. So here we go. A 244 for Casanova. Ace on the mound, nope. Champion as a hitter, nope. A ground out to short, is he a whipper? We're going to find out, is he semi-whipper? He's a whipper. So despite being tired, Stottlemyre says, get out of here. Strike 3, it's his 6th strikeout. So of the night, 1 away, and here comes Cullen. And like I said, I'm pinch hitting here. This kid's hitting 154. Let's start with Bernie Allen. Bernie Allen will be the pinch hitter. And Bernie, so far this is he's walked. I thought I'd had him in the game before. This is only their 4th game, but he hasn't played much. He walked and scored a run earlier this year. So here we go with the roll. It's a 146. Keeps coming up. Flash, he's not. A champion, he's not. So we got a grounder to second. So 2 down, and Stottlemyre is 1 out away from a complete game. So we will pinch it for Riddleberger, of course. And that will be Tommy McCraw. McCraw is 1 for 1 so far this year. And see what happens here. 255 star. He's a semi-star. Remember, because I said I'd pop him down once. So let's see if he gets the strikeout. He needs a 1. He got a 2. Home run king. Whoa. Semi is. It's a home run out of here. So Tommy McGraw comes up and hits a home run to make this 3-2. The drama couldn't be more fun. I think we can hear the crowd screaming, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I turned on audio. But anyway, so now what do I do? A 1-run game and a very tired Stottlemyre. I'm going to look for somebody in the bullpen to end this game. Their closer that year, they didn't really have one. Playing baseball back then. 4 saves and 4 saves. Not much. So we are going to turn to, what do we have coming up here? We've got Kurt Flood. We've got a couple of righties for sure. So we're going to turn to Jack Aker here to come in for Stottlemyre and try and get this final out. So he's an ace, semi-ace, and an icon. So we'll see what he gets here. I don't have any pinch hitters really. So Flood will bat 145. And then Struggler on the mound. Nope. Nothing for the batter. It is a ground out to third, and that is ball game. So Aker comes in and gets the short save, 1 out, 1 pitch kind of save. And that's a final here in RFK, Washington, D.C., with the Yankees 3 and the Senators 2. Let's take a look at just some final box score talk here. I'm going to pop this wide. You can see some of the games going on today, or in that day, April 10th, 1971. Here's our game. Yankees now 1-2, Senators now 1-3. It labeled, obviously, Stottlemyre got the win. It puts the win over here. Player of the game over here, it gave it to Rory White. Probably 1 for 3, a home run, 2 RBIs. There wasn't a lot going on in this game. Let's take a look at the box score. It gives you a quick game AI write-up. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. There's a newspaper box score, which I think is all right. And then there's the extended one. I think this one looks much nicer. So if you look at that one, you can see, the Yankees had 7 hits, and Michael was the only one with 2 hits. A couple RBIs for Rory White in that home run. That was his second of the year. Munson got his second double, got some RBIs there. White's third. Early season stuff here. They left 7 on, 2 double plays. You get over to Washington, you got a couple of hits from Epstein and Foy. And for them, 9 hits total. They actually hit him. He had 9-7, but took the loss. Epstein and Cullen hit their first doubles. McGraw with that pinch hit homer. Having there by Tim Cullen. They left 8 on base. Looking at the pitcher, Stottlemyre 8 2/3, 9 hits, 2 runs. They're both earned. Gave up a home run, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Aker comes in for his first save through 4 pitches. The Senators, Schellenbach pitched a great game. Gave up no earned runs, 5 hits. They pitched a great game. 1 walk. Didn't take the loss. We went to Janeski, who couldn't. Gave up the Rory White home run. Riddleberger came in, pitched well in the fielding. There's also a scorecard in here, which is kind of cool. You can see it scored out, which is really nice. Yeah. Also gives you the player of the game and how the lineups were set up. There's also a play-by-play in here. I don't want to go that deep. And then the scoring plays are also in here. This just kind of gives you the play-by-play with just the scoring plays. So anyway, that's the end of this game. Just wanted to give you guys all a look on how the 1971 season is being played by me. How History Maker Baseball looks if you haven't taken a look at it. Great game. How Digital Diamond looks if you want to use that as a scorekeeper. It's great. Works for, as you can see, it didn't matter if I used History Maker Baseball. It was asking me for the result. Now, I will say also in Digital Diamond that it's built in with Status Pro Advanced. Whole nother video, whole nother setup. There are videos out there for that. Some good stuff out there. It's also a great game if you ever played Status Pro as a kid. I know I Strat, Apple, Status Pro. Those are the 3 games out. but it's integrated into this, which is really nice. So I do that sometimes and use that. My next game up, just moving down the line, I go left and right, and notice it does American League first, National League second. I'll be playing the Pirates and Steve Bloss against Phil Niekro, but Atlanta, Mr. Hall of Fame. So that'll be a fun game playing next. But that's all for me for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you later.